correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPG, the podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Alright, so, everyone ready to roleplay today?
Yeah.
Cool, so a lot of us were low energy last time. What do people remember from last episode?
We arrived in New Barquat, or I think that's what it was called, New Barquat. We talked to some rich people who were like, hey, unfortunately, you're trying to bypass something that can't be bypassed. And we also, I don't know, there was some conversation happening around the bar, looking for information. I say bar, we were drinking tea. We gave some children some fun rides. What am I missing here?
Explain the layout of the new city and what the different areas are.
Right.
Which are summarized in one of the little chat rooms there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the session 0 one, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it session... I think it was session
Current
0.
game chatter.
Current game chatter, there we go.
Yeah, so it's pretty accurate. Pretty much this city is separated into tiers based off of your intellectual contribution or notoriety. There are a couple different ways you guys would have potentially gone up in terms of your notoriety, and instead you decided that one of the kids that went for a ride on Prangalar's bat actually had wealthy parents who you guys talked to, and they basically invented a dirt devil, and you were trying to use them to get into the upper tier, and they basically said, well, you got to do us something before we're going to do you a giant favor, at which point you guys had agreed.
Yep.
I don't recall what the thing is we were supposed to do, though.
I don't know that we got that far.
We stopped since not many people seem to be awake, and I didn't want to commit you guys to anything. Cool. So any questions or concerns before we get going?
Not by me.
Alrighty. So they do have an office in the second tier, but they gave you a contact point in the current tier you're in and had to excuse themselves. So you are all sitting around this tea shop. Specifically, this was Grok's Free Exchange Knowledge and Tea Emporium.
Ben, by chance, the foundry, do you have it up and going?
No.
Or you're not home, so...
No, Foundry did some weird stuff, and I haven't refixed it, and then I'm also not home.
Okay, no worries. I just was asking.
Nope, sorry. I thought I sent that in a message earlier. I apologize if I didn't give you guys a heads up.
I might have missed it, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it.
We'll call it even.
Yeah, I think Kulweg is just gonna sit there and sort of prep some stuff and get his head right after that horrible experience.
Cool. What's the rest of the group doing? I think Prang ended up doing most of the talking last time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Prang's exhausted from talking.
So, Prang, do you by chance know what it is that we're going to have to do?
Prang is tired from talking. So, Prang!
Yeah, exactly.
I'll leave that up to the smarter folks in this group than I. I just made the contact. I'm sure there's potentially Karlax and Kulweg. You guys could come up with something together, I'd imagine. You have enough bips and bobs to manufacture something, don't you, Kulweg?
I mean, level a small city block or make something. We could figure something out.
To be clear, you agreed to do a favor for them that you have to present to their office to learn what it is.
Oh. Well, then we should probably go to the contact that they first gave us to meet on this level, on this tier. And maybe that contact can get us onto the second tier where their office is.
Well, yes. processes must be followed.
After you.
Did they give us a time frame at which to meet said contact person?
There can be if you want, but this is kind of more like one of their exchange offices or like public offices on the first tier. So this is probably where they're doing a lot of their sales out of. So business hours.
Which is not now, right? What time of day is it?
Don't remember. So it's business hours on New Barquat.
Fair enough. Then I suppose we should head that direction.
Cool. So you guys gonna go right there?
Yeah. Just
Cool. Can someone make a streetwise check to see how your navigation goes?
let me see.
I have 4 green in Streetwise.
I have 3 green and 1 yellow in Streetwise.
Sounds like you're making the Streetwise roll.
Let's
Unless
hope I
somebody's got
don't.
more
Average
Streetwise than me.
difficulty.
Average
I only have 2
difficulty.
green, so it's
That's
definitely not me. Dose, I believe.
alrighty. And all right, that is 3 advantage, 1 success.
Cool. So you're able to make your way without any issues. You navigate. You kind of avoid some of the touristy trap spaces. What do you have? What are your advantages getting you?
I'm not really sure, but
Can we use one of them for a space for Arlene to hang from?
yeah, well,
100%.
that's fine with me.
So since this is kind of more like a strip mall-y area, they'll definitely have more parking spaces for animals and rides and ships.
We have a couple left after that. So 2 is generally we can add something to the scene, maybe like maybe something interesting on the way.
Let's see. Perhaps they have their own. You said it had tiers, right? Raised tiers each.
Correct.
So what if that specific office has its own delivery system where it receives deliveries from a manufacturing area on the second tier?
Like its own pneumatic tunnel.
Yeah, like its own pneumatic tunnel or a gondola system that gives them fresh supplies to sell to the first tier.
Sure.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Cool. So you navigate your way because this is still very much in the dock area, the shipping kind of space, and you find yourselves at a bit, similar to a strip mall, and there's just a bunch of these inventors all have these little shops selling their things. The specific one is, in essence, a magic-powered vacuum. So you're able to find the shop. There's big glass displays, many different sizes, shapes, power sources. Bunch of people are kind of coming in and buying. There's clearly wholesale as well as kind of point of sales to, more well-to-do people because this is part of the tourist trade, right? The rich people come here to slum it, but they also come to buy these trinkets.
I'm going to kind of keep an eye out. I'm not going to break away from the party, but I'm going to keep an eye out on what's around and kind of make sure that we weren't followed from anywhere.
I'm going to look for the most managerial looking person in that store. 100%. You know the look. You know the way they dress, the way they stand, the way they look at the other employees. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you look kind of this little kind of tired-eyed looking manager.
But yeah.
Clearly kind of dealt with
especially dealing with the rich.
Yeah,
like, the loss of soul. In their eyes, the one that has the least soul left. That's who I want to talk to.
But still somehow has a grin going.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the exact person I'm looking for.
So I think you find an elf who's not like necessarily directly interacting with anyone, but is like constantly in the background everywhere, managing a lot. You kind of see a couple people coming like, we want to talk to the manager, and the person has stepped in and really handled these people quite well. And her badge says Judy, and is definitely the one in charge.
Pardon me, Miss Judy. Or may I call you Jude, if that's all right?
Yeah, the name tag indicates how I'd like to be addressed.
Excellent.
What can I do for you, sir? How may I help you today at Dirt Devils R Us?
We were given a contact to talk to from who was it again? The folks that we were talking with.
I
Did
don't
they
think
have
I
a
named
name?
them. No, we didn't name them.
Oh shoot!
Um,
What are the names?
So we will call the dwarf. Her name was Glenda, and the gnome's name was Gerald.
Okay.
We were informed by Glenda and Gerald to meet a certain contact here. Would you be able to help us, ma'am? Miss Judy.
Oh yes, the special project. Just what I needed. Yes, come to the back, please. Brad, can you please take over? I know you're supposed to go on break, but these special customers require a little extra attention. So Judy leads you into the kind of through the back into the manager's office, and it's not designed for a group your size, but you guys all squeeze in there. And she's going to sit down and say, yes, you must forgive me. Many people come in here wanting special attention. What was it again you were looking for? There was a special task, you say?
Yes, we were to do a favor for them.
Right. Okay. And she kind of starts flipping through a bunch of different material that's on her desk. It's clearly that she's kind of the one who gets dumped on a lot. She's definitely the one who's running this area and says, "Oh, right. You were the ones that wanted to Oh, you thought you could just walk into the second tier? That's cute. Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. So you've agreed to do a task for them in exchange for access to their production facility in the second tier. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
And it looks like you're honorary members of our business now. Okay, so technically, you fall under my guidance. Okay, so I just need you to sign these contract forms, waiving, obviously our company that you are now joining. I bet you didn't actually get the name, but it's Royal Runic Appliance Manufacturing Company of any responsibility or rights if you are injured while engaged in activities for us. So, and she's going to pull out multiple kind of contracts and put them in front of you guys, looking for you guys to sign them.
Can I make sure to look closely at them?
The contracts, or
Yeah, the contracts, just
look at
to
'em.
read it thoroughly and see if there's anything that's
Sure.
disagreeable or disadvantageous or something that could get us in trouble.
Do you want to make a how I can't remember your character's backstory. Have you dealt with a lot of contracts from bureaucracy at this point?
I would imagine so, because given my backstory, that would make sense to some degree. Although I imagine that this government probably is a little different, So I don't know.
Well, you, the player, can tell me what your character has dealt with. So if you say where you came from, they had a lot of bureaucratic paperwork, then they did, but that's going to be part of your character's history.
Yeah, well, I mean, given that mine was a spy, that I definitely think that he would have had some experience with the government paperwork, especially having to fill out after missions.
I mean, maybe,
or like reading shit. And
I
imagine
there's not necessarily paper involved in any of that stuff. I never saw James Bond fill out any paperwork. But again,
he was a bad
Terry,
spy.
yes or no? Terry, yes or no?
Yes. Short answer is yes.
Okay, then you're able to just look through this form, and it's just a very, if your character has ever actually worked for any companies, like it's a very standard, you agree to work with us, you are on their payroll, you do not get to do XYZ, they are not liable for any things you do that's stupid, or if you're injured, they don't pay your medical bills, blah, 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 blah type stuff.
Fair.
Basic liability.
Basic liability, yeah.
Cool.
The only unique thing would probably be a clause just kind of indicating that any acts of sabotage to any competitor firms are basically, it's kind of like the if you are discovered, we'll disavow all knowledge of you, but said a little bit more politically. So, if you mess with any of the other competitor businesses here, that they wink and don't, endorse that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
I think Kulweg takes a half a glance, looks it over, and signs K. I think he just signs K Strong Shoulder.
Awesome. Right.
Groth has
Okay.
surprisingly neat handwriting.
Yes,
I
he does.
sign in.
Go
Mine
ahead.
is the most egregiously fancy, disgustingly big signature of my entire long ass name.
Barnelby
you're
von
hand cocking
Grayson Skinlin the Third.
Halfway through, your pen actually dies, so you have to get a new one to finish
And
it.
then finish it off.
Because, it's like 20 lines of just signing all your names.
I think Karlax's writing is very much like chicken scratch.
100%. Or I could see like Karlax just like dipping like a knuckle in ink and just like stamping a name instead of.
Actually, yeah, it might have something like that where it's
Karlax,
like there
I
is a
think you
knuckle
just,
joint that just has like a stamp type thing in it.
yeah, maybe you just have a signet ring.
Kind of, yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Maybe you had like an actual name of your like model written across your forearm, but it's worn out, so all that was left was Karlax, and that's where you got your name from. But anyways,
Yeah, that makes sense.
cool. So after everyone's signed, she kind of reviews it, stamps it, signs them, all that kind of. Right. So it appears that they want you to venture into some of the lost ruins below the city. Specifically, they are needing you to locate a specific rune there for them, and they require it for their next project. But beyond that, in a description of the rune, I'm afraid I can't give you much more information.
Well, what's the rune look like at least?
Right. It is. What is it going to look like?
It is made of amethyst, has like large sweeping motions and it's carved into it. I don't know if like a reference. I don't know if like reference an actual rune or not, but like, yeah, just whatever language they carve runes into.
Perfect. When you say amethyst, you mean like just the look of one?
Yeah, just look kind of like that rich purple.
Cool. Yeah. And what does this? You can't say this one, Terry, because you've talked the most. So, what does this rune do?
I feel like maybe it has something to do with manipulating airflow.
Cool.
Like some sort of,
Oh no, it's the Dyson rune.
Dyson rune?
I
saw.
Does it suck or blow?
I don't
Yes. Yes.
Their next project is a leaf blower, apparently.
all that matters is which side of the fan you are doing the job with.
It's true.
I heard the creator of this rune was mad. Everybody kept saying his products suck. Kept getting upset.
He decided to blow them away.
I think we should get a story point for that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sure, you guys can have a story point because you don't really ever use them. So that's just I'm just giving you like free stuff here. That's just not going to do anything.
I used one last session.
Yeah, I used one before too.
Cool, 2 in like 6 sessions. So you have a specific location described. So basically, if you remember, below New Barquat, there was a bunch of floating kind of ruins up to Barquat itself, and there was a lot of lost tech and technology down there. And so they are asking you to go explore and locate this purple rune that seems to be distorting airflows around it. Yes, it seems that there are rumors of it existing in this area. However, none of our expedition crews have been able to get close enough or been able to identify its location. As you know, there's many dangers involved in an exploration such as this.
That is what I hear. Otherwise, anybody here would do it already.
Many have tried, that is true. But that is also why we have the Archaeology Guild. They specialize in this, but, anything they get, they analyze and then they share. How can we get ahead in business if we share the technology with others?
Kulweg, with all the sincerity that he can muster, looks her straight in the face and goes, "But Danger is literally my middle name."
But that's not what you wrote on your paper here.
I don't sign my middle name often. This
presents a conundrum for us then, because technically, you
Here, I'll fix
are...
it. I could fix it.
Perfect. Because there was
He
going
just
to actually be...
scratches out what he wrote, rewrites the same thing, except he just puts Danger right over top of it.
Oh, phew. There was actually 6 forms that I'm just aware of off the top of my head that you were going to have to fill out from that one thing. So I'm so glad we were able to do this. Perfect. All right. Well, I am so glad that you have someone who is, clearly you guys enjoy the company of Danger. So this is going to be a good outing for you.
Kulweg turns and looks and is like, I don't know that they enjoy the company of Danger. Do you enjoy the company of Danger?
I mean,
You're tolerable. I've worked with much less pleasant people.
Huh.
Depends on how slathered you are.
Danger snores.
Nice throwback.
I'll shut up now.
So she gives you a little pamphlet that kind of has a crude map drawn to give you an idea of the general location to go to in the floating ruins of New Barquat.
So what is I think we established that this is essentially in space, essentially these ruins, right? Or are they contained within like some breathable atmosphere?
They're still within some of them are going down into the kind of the toxic cloud cover of the surface, but a lot of them are floating up in the open air. It looks like the place you're going to is like right on the horizon line between breathable and not breathable.
Okay. So somewhere I can bring Arlene. I didn't know if I had to bring her back to the ship or not.
No, you can bring her. You might not be able to take her all the way to where you're going.
Yeah. I just means we can traverse the void with her in it. I can take one other person. Do we have like can we rent like a sled? Like almost like, it's going to sound weird, but like a hover sled almost, that could bring any gear we might want and or passengers that she could fly out there?
You guys created a gondola-like system, so yeah.
Okay. I was going to say I could always flip a story point to say that yes, we have that sled thing.
Well, I feel like we kind of had that with the ship too. We could go back, like a skiff, so to speak.
Yeah.
100%. That's also something you guys can kind of just go look for, find, and make real.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We could spend a story point to go do that and introduce it into the story, because you said we don't spend story points, so that's something I would use a story point on.
Awesome.
Fair.
There you go.
We have our arcane utility vehicle.
Arcane utility. An AUV.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. The AUV.
Yeah, so you guys are in the transportation area. We've established that there are, basically taxi-like places, so you're definitely able to go out and try to track one of those down.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to go out and track one of them down.
Oh yeah, well, we're going to track one down, see if there's any shops nearby to sell them.
Well, how about you track down the vehicle and say a couple of the rest of us go rustle up some supplies.
Sounds good.
So who's going with who? Who wants to ride with Arlene and I?
I'll go for supplies. I could use some ammonia nitrate and, a few other things.
I must caution you, Kulweg, based on previous experiences, certain compounds do react differently in the atmospheres as it gets closer to the toxic thresholds.
As you're talking, Kulweg just gets this grotesque smile across his face. As though the words that you're saying are processing, but not in the way that you expect them to.
Oh, no.
Isn't that the fun of it, though?
Well, perhaps. Just be advised that perhaps things don't always operate as they normally would.
Duly noted. I'll do some experiments.
Cool. So who's going where? Oh, sorry. I thought you guys were done. Go ahead.
As for your offer, Prangalar, if you're willing to go find a suitable store for us to purchase a AUV, I'd be willing to ride. Of course, we'd also need to, her there anyway to purchase the harness, of course.
Excuse me. Those are actually really expensive. I doubt you have the financial backing to purchase. However, renting them might be much more, actually be an option.
Oh,
What,
then where would we rent one of the AUVs?
what's our expense account?
Yeah, what is our expense account?
For this company?
Yes, you said we're employed. Usually that comes with an expense account.
No. You should have read your contract closer. There's no expensive count.
Then what's our compensation?
To get to the second tier, which I might add, they're being very generous with you. You must have done them a favor or something to get this.
Of sorts. But do you know where we could rent the AUV, where there's any stores nearby?
I do not know that off the top of my head, actually. I apologize. That's not something I regularly am in need of.
Oh, no problem. I say we head back to the information bar and ask them if there's any nearby stores.
We can wander around the port. I'm sure something would turn up there.
A better idea indeed.
It would be logical for there to be such vehicles available at the port itself, actually.
That was my thought as well.
Then let us explore and see if we cannot find it.
Cool. So one group is going to go off and look for a rental place. Whoever's in that group, make me some kind of check. It can be streetwise, it can be an underground, it can be a lot of different checks that can apply here.
Ooh, that's a good thing, then. Where's my underworld? Do I even have an underworld? Nope. Oh, would that be skullduggery?
No, unfortunately. Skullduggery is more of an action than a knowledge.
Oh.
You have the better streetwise again, so.
Yeah, I'll do streetwise. What's the?
I'll give you assistance.
Excellent.
It's not skilled assistance, so you get a boost die instead of a skill die.
Hey, any boost is a good boost. What am I rolling against?
So what are you looking for? Just any place? Are you looking for some specific things, some cheaper things, some nicer things, some?
We just need basic, so whatever's cheapest.
Yeah, affordable.
Cool. Then it's just gonna be an average difficulty to locate this place.
All right. And rolling again. Okay. 4 advantage, 3 success.
Cool. So yeah, you're able to find your way to a rental place. It's pretty busy. It's got a lot of like the economy versions of things. So not a lot of equipment, not a lot of extras, but definitely kind of solid, well cared for vehicles.
All right.
Cool. So we'll come back to you. So who went with Barnaby?
Me and Barnelby.
Cool. So while they're doing that, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Been my intention to go find just basic adventuring supplies that we might need a refresher on.
Okay.
I'm basically tagging along, and while he's asking for basic adventuring supplies, I'm asking for complex alchemical things.
Cool. So if you guys look at the places we've created, do any of those jump out at you?
Look, I feel like maybe the female dwarf. Like, I feel like the archaeologist guild would definitely be able to tell us where to get the stuff. But the female dwarf looks like it's probably the closest to where you would get, maybe a respirator system or some,
The floating junkyard?
That looks like, given the list of stuff I have, that seems like.
Yeah, you can also make up somewhere. I just asked if any of those.
Well, that, or perhaps Larry's Lesser Antiques has like a annex next to it that sells equipment for aspiring recovery agents.
Sure.
That actually kind of feels like it connects a little better.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's definitely kind of a general goods store with a section of kind of reclaimed antiquities.
So yeah, I think Karlax is pretty much probably a couple of because he's thinking, other people should have a couple respirator packs for everybody, probably some rope, that type of stuff. Nothing, I don't think, extremely weird, just because
Sure.
he carries a toolkit, so he's got most things, but rope, some sort of flashlight, sunrod type deal. I'm sure they have some sort of magical equivalent.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. So you're able to make your way. This is a pretty big place that's well known. So you're definitely able to make your way there without any issues. All right. So Barnaby and Prang, you guys walk into this, in essence, like a rental car dealership. Does anybody want to play any of the characters in this dealership?
Oh, sure. I haven't actually gotten a chance to play a character yet.
Well, you're talking in this scene, so unless you want to talk to yourself, I don't
No,
think you're.
he was with me.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
in the. We're
Barnelby
in the.
and Prang.
Oh.
I'll play.
You're at the Enterprise
Oh.
Yes.
or budget, whatever. Avis.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I didn't realize they cut back to us already. I thought it was still on you guys.
Yep. No, I just said we're back at Avis.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So there's a desk. People are busy looking at vehicles. There's a wide range of, sleek, to just standard basic use.
All right.
How about this one over here? And Prang goes over to one that's looks like it's had better days, but it looks cheap.
I mean, do you think it'll even fit everyone? Or even fly?
I push down on to see how it hovers and see if it floats, if it goes up and down, or is it kind of not move much?
A gnome with a very elaborate mustache walks over to you.
And says what?
That one's a beaut. I'll get you a real good deal on that.
Oh, can you now? And what deal would you be willing to offer us?
Well, what you got?
Oh, that's not how the bargain works, my friend. You tell us what it's worth, and then I will tell you if it's within our budget.
Value is entirely subjective.
Indeed, it is, isn't it? So what would you value at this one? You personally, what would you be willing to pay for this AUV of quality?
You have free range here, Hagan. Be practical, but otherwise you can make up whatever you want.
Well, it's not one of our higher end models, but it's definitely a very good model, and it gets you exactly where you want to be. A lot of room, dual climate control.
And the reliability. Is it reliable, or will it just fail?
I think in this case, dual climate control means that you can slide a port open and have wind come in or not.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Oh yeah. All I care about is if it's gonna fall out of the sky or not.
So Hagan, I do think there's one weird thing about this ship that's it's kind of like a hey, it's not a big deal, definitely downplayed. What is the one thing that the salesperson doesn't want to admit is wrong with this ship?
Top speed.
Oh, the top. Oh boy.
Yeah, the top speed of it is I don't know. What are we expecting the top speed on something like this to be? Compared to how fast a person moves?
Think of this kind of like a horse in essence, like a horse-drawn wagon type thing.
This is more like pony power than horsepower.
Streamlined like a barracuda, handles like a cow.
But you'll look real fast while you're going slow.
Like a Honda Civic with the exhaust cut off of it.
That's what the stripe paint job on the side implies, a faster speed.
And there's a hood scoop actually too, just to really make it look faster.
Just to really sell
on a trailer?
And it's
Yep.
red.
It's red.
It's red.
According to orc logic, red always makes things go faster.
Oi, red makes it red is fastest. Blue is lucky. Purple's invisible.
What was it else? What else was there?
Yellow makes it explode better.
Mm.
And there's something else too, and I can't remember what it is.
So what
There's
is
something for Mordaka.
So what exactly are you guys trying to get? You're trying to get a trailer that something can pull?
Yeah, Arlene's supposed to be pulling this trailer. It's just supposed to be
Okay.
like a sled type skiff so we can get some dudes and some stuff on it so we can
Yeah.
make it out to the
Okay.
site. Utility, not form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. You have this sled that now has a scoop and like some fins and a racing stripe, and it's definitely not the fastest. It's relatively open, so there's not a lot of protection in it, but it can definitely carry more people.
Barnelby.
All right, Barnelby. You need to make me a negotiation check, and it's going to be 1 red, 1 purple to see how much this is going to cost you.
Oh no!
Barnelby, remind him it's a rental, not a sale.
True. It is a rental, so we'd only be renting it, not buying it. Let's see. And then what was it? It was a red and what else?
Purple.
Red and purple. Okay. And oh boy, let's roll. Oh no. 3 success, 2 threat.
Cool. Yeah. So you get quoted a good price. However, the insurance liability on this thing is crazy.
Oh shoot. When we are going where we're going, it makes sense that it's ridiculous.
I pull Barnelby aside.
What are you thinking?
Can't we just waive the insurance? Just sign different names. I mean,
Oh.
I signed Dunmar Bedrath to the contract for the guild or the company. Just sign some weird name.
I don't.
All right. And we'll need some proof of identity as well.
Of course. See, I don't think we can skip over the insurance here. Damn.
You're a pretty smooth talker. Perhaps you could work some of your magic like you worked it on that agent from.
True. Oh, so my gnomish friend. Unfortunately, the insurance cost is just a bit too high for our budgetary requirements. Is there any way that we could negotiate a deal or some such?
Well, I mean, negotiation is always an option, but we're kind of had our hands tied when it comes to liability.
Oh, of course. If we perhaps gave you something of importance to us personally that we would most definitely want back as sort of a collateral, would that place well in lieu of the insurance cost coverage?
It's certainly a possibility. What would you be considering?
Is
That is a
there
very
anybody
valid
else in this
question.
shop? Is there anyone else?
Yeah,
in here?
this is a pretty busy shop. There's a couple other people coming in doing rentals or dropping off stuff.
Is there any paperwork that would maybe be lying around, like titles of anything that might accidentally fall into my bag that we could use as collateral?
Probably not, because those titles are their titles. So you're trying to use their own thing as their own as collateral for them.
No, meaning if someone else has like turned one in as collateral or anything like that, like another customer.
Oh no, no one else has tried to do collateral. Everyone else is just paid. Unless you want to flip a story point.
Yes.
More story
right.
points tonight than like the entire campaigns.
Excellent.
Yeah, so there appears to be some paperwork in the middle of being processed at a desk. However, they are very alert, so you'll need to make me a skullduggery check, and it is going to be difficult.
All right. 3 purple, difficult.
1 red, 2 purple, difficult.
All right. All right. Let me see if I got anything. I have. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see.
We were probably the best 2 to go to this place.
That is 4 successes and a threat.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, you're able to steal this piece of paper. You don't know what the threat is, though.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and slide it over to Barnelby and say, here's our collateral.
Ah, yes. This would be our collateral, thank you.
Oh, interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hagan.
Oh, that's very nice. We could probably make something like this work. Yes. Go ahead and let me just talk to my manager real quick.
So they're gonna. So they sign it, but they do take your picture, and have that correlated to this piece of paper. The manager approves. The rental costs and the insurance coverage is now tied to the ownership of this piece of paper that you didn't really look at, so you're not sure who it's tied to.
Oh no!
That can't possibly come back and bite us later.
I have a bad feeling about that. Such a bad feeling. We better not lose this AUV. I swear to God.
So you're telling me we need to blow it up when it's all said and done?
I'm saying we shouldn't blow it up. No.
So you're telling me?
I'm telling you, explode around it. Above it, below it, to the left side, perfectly fine, just not directly in the center of it.
Right underneath.
Exactly. Oh no. Oh Lord.
Awesome. I can't wait to see what we can make happen here. So we're gonna smash cut over to the other group that has found their way to the Archaeologist's Emporium shop, where Larry's Lesser Antiquities is based. And I think right next to Larry's Lesser Antiquities is Gary's General Goods Antiquities. And Terry, why don't you play as the whichever shop they go into?
I will go. I'll first be Larry's Antiquities. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited. Hello there. What may be your predication today?
Well, we're just looking for some general adventuring and recovery supplies. I have a checklist, and Karlax actually pulls out a list that he has written, and it's Steve didn't make it up, but Karlax would definitely have like a checklist of the things that he needs, which are all very practical, but like numbered out, like 5 coils of rope, 5 packs of pit and spikes, that level of meticulous list.
Yeah.
So I think your character is going to try to upsell the crap out of these people, as well as almost like a pawn shoppy type thing, but with actually nice goods. So it's like trying to sell some of these artifacts that they have.
All right. You have quite a complete list here. I do believe we can help you with all of these here. But are you sure you're prepared enough for what you need?
Well, one can obviously never be prepared for every potential eventuality, but based on previous experiences, I do believe this should cover most things that we could come in contact with, and my abilities should be able to deal with whatever other ones potentially
Have you
arise.
thought about the rebreathers?
Oh, yes.
For
they're
your
right.
fleshy companions.
Yes, they're right here. And he points to them on the list.
Oh, yes, I didn't quite know. I noticed, yes. Sorry, it's starting to sound like my normal voice. Damn it. Hold on. Yes, I see him here. Oh, what about levitation? Personal levitation devices.
Well, that could prove it. Which model do you have?
Oh, I do believe it is the A2600.
The A series, though, is prone to so many faults. You see, the crystal core, there was the runic structure doesn't agree with the crystals, and they have a bad habit of failing.
Yes, a knowledgeable one, aren't you? Yes.
Much prefer the B42 series, although I don't think we'll need that in this case.
Indeed. So, I do believe what you could not leave without, especially with what seems to be a recovery mission, is the recovery balloons. Do you have enough of those? and you have a holder for those balloons. Any damage will render them useless after all.
Could perhaps use a couple of those as extras. Yes, I suppose.
Yes, they're quite durable bags that protect the balloon.
Kulweg saddles up to the bar at this point and goes, "All right, to cut through some of the chase, what do you use for fertilizer around here? Are you a manure-based society, or have you discovered the wonders of high-test fertilizers?"
We have a few high-test fertilizers, but they are quite an exceptional rarity, unfortunately.
Okay.
This is a hydroponic world. They do a lot, or city. They're growing a lot of stuff in vertical hydroponic settings.
Oh, okay.
Fish. Think fish.
No,
Fish
plants.
being yeah, but if you're doing hydroponics, you can have fish in the hydroponic tanks.
Oh,
and that'll
yeah,
provide
yeah, yeah,
fertilizer.
yeah.
Natural
And
nutrients.
fertilizer.
Yeah. And they can help
Magic.
feed on
and
whatever.
Just gonna throw this out there, guys. Magic.
Yeah.
Kulweg's looking for a special kind of magic.
He's just very special.
He thinks for a moment. He's like, do you have anything that's highly explosive?
Oh, quite a wide variety of selections, my dear friend. What kind of explosive are you looking for?
I think the word I used was highly.
We do have a few, but unfortunately some require special licenses to handle.
How many bills before those licenses no longer matter?
That
How much
depends-
gold do I have to hand you before you no longer care that I don't have that license?
That certainly depends upon how many gold pieces are you talking about.
He pulls out like a handful, he pulls out like 5 gold pieces. And I will gladly roll this for you, but he is going to try and act like he's counting them twice.
Wait,
All
wait,
right.
to make me think that I see 10 on the table, or
Yes.
oh my god.
So he's going to do like a mean parlor trick and count them into the palm of his hand, but he's going to count them twice effectively.
1, 2, skip a few.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be very difficult. So it's going to definitely be a skullduggery check. But I'm thinking this person, deals with people like this all the time. So I'm going to say 2 red and a purple.
Ooh.
I think Kulweg is going to spend a story point to say he's done this before to downgrade that difficulty or to make my check easier.
Okay. So 1 red, 2 purple.
1 red, 2 purple. This is not going to be fun for me, but we'll make it work.
It's going to be interesting.
Sure is.
2 success.
All right. So it looks like the person thinks you have laid 10 gold coins out onto the counter.
Oh my. 10 coins, you say?
I do. I do. If you believe, yeah.
Well, I do believe we can make that work.
Well, wonderful. I'll take as much as 10 coins can get me.
Ah, so yes. How does 5 bottles of almost volatile explosive sound?
Wonderful. I'll put it right next to my nitroglycerin.
And would you like a carrying case for it?
No, it's going to go in next to the nitroglycerin.
I would be careful.
I
Proximity to other chemicals can be violent.
know. I'm well aware. That's why I was attempting to purchase these.
Excellent. Well, a sale is a sale. Just don't blow yourself up.
Oh, many times. I mean, never.
And if you do, please do it outside.
Under that expensive thing we just rented.
Onto the very yeah.
Doesn't matter. The collateral's not ours.
I imagine that I would that Larry here will just, clap his hands, and some folk will be gathering the equipment for y'all in the back rooms. Kind of like how you not like an AutoZone,
Mm-hmm.
just to prevent theft and other issues. But yeah, they just gather up all your stuff, put it on a nice cart, and wheel it right out to you. You're getting the gold standard treatment for your donation.
All right.
I want a repeat customer, you know?
What else you guys got?
I think we're supplied up and got our cart. Anybody else need anything before we go? If not, I was going to hook up Arlene to the cart.
We need to get slathered.
Nah. Kulweg heard you say that across the town. Kulweg is like, somebody
Slathered.
mentioned about getting slathered. I'm down for that right now. I heard the bat signal go up.
Yeah, so you guys are able to kind of regroup, probably at the Comet's Tail, and get all situated.
Sweet.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right, we loaded up. I hook up Arlene to the sled and don't ask Kulweg what he's got in his bag.
Not at all.
Never.
Oh my god. I hope this doesn't blow up in our faces.
Cool.
Quite
So,
literally.
Find.
so what do you guys do?
Who's got the map or the rough directional suggestion?
North.
Is that me because I'm flying on the bat?
Probably, yeah.
All right. I grab it and I take a look and start heading that way.
Cool. All right, so I need you to make me a check. Arlene is really not loving this sled. It's very clunky and awkward to maneuver with. So whatever check you end up making, you are going to take 2 step back.
All right. So I have riding, this and this, 2 setback. Let me see if I do anything about those setback pieces.
And it's going to be 3 purple.
Let me see what Let's Ride does. There's not enough room on the PDF character sheet to write down what things do because reasons. So
Oh, and
Okay.
you guys did no research about this area, so you're flying into like a really chaotic place, so we're actually going to upgrade that difficulty once.
Oh crap.
well, all right. This should be interesting.
What could go wrong?
Oh, we could lose our sled. Oh no.
You weren't supposed to answer that question, Terry.
That's 1 failure and 3 threat.
Yeah, so you guys are having difficulty finding the location when you run into what?
Ooh, a flying shark.
The Archaeologist Guild.
I like the idea of a flying shark comes exploding up out of the mist and takes a chunk out of your sled. So it's starting to list and have difficulty maintaining height.
Did you
We're
say
not going to get our
S8?
collateral back.
Did you say shark or shart?
Shark. Yes.
Okay.
If a shark can take out part of the sled, then wow.
A shark comes screaming
It's
through
a big shark.
It's a real fast shark.
It's really gooey with a lot of
Too many
substance.
beans.
A lot of corn.
The suggestion of the Archaeologist Guild was made, and I was like, are they going to fly up to us and say, and point at our sled and say, it belongs in a museum?
Did we lose anything off of the sled, or just the back end is gone off of it?
Yeah, I think you guys did lose something. What did you lose? You're going to lose one of the key items that you requested, and they're all gone.
I'll let the people that went to the shop decide that.
Yeah. What do you want to lose?
Well, what do you guys think? Lights? Maybe the spikes?
The respirator, the rope, the explosives.
Nah, Kulweg's got the explosives on wrap. I can tell you that much. He has not let them out of his sight since he's gotten them.
I would say the
Maybe we lost
respirators,
Kulweg.
possibly.
Oh no. Oh, we just lost Kulweg.
We lost Kulweg.
We heard a small explosion somewhere.
My
We're reenacting the scene from the end of Jaws, but Kulweg is the tank.
Yeah.
can't
What
stay down
happened?
with 3 Kulwegs in them.
Yes. So this flying beast slams into the trailer, dislodging part of it. One of the lift crystals is failing. You see some of your supplies go flying off into space as you into the air. And unfortunately, Arlene is now having difficulty staying aloft, and so comes in for a rough landing on one of the local ruins as this predator of the air continues to circle, coming in for another attack.
I'm going to ready my bow.
I'll also ready my bow.
Okay, what does that mean?
I want to shoot the shark when it comes back around, so it's not a problem anymore.
Oh, okay, you're shooting the shark.
Yes.
We're
got it.
shooting the shark.
Perfect.
Kulweg takes out one of the new bottles that he's purchased that is supposedly highly explosive and is waiting for the shark to come around, and is also communicating with Prangalar that I'll throw this first, you aim for it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So at what
Got
range
it.
are people doing these things?
I want to have it be at medium range because short range and bada boom is not great for me.
Right. Close enough to see the white of its eyes.
Cool, go ahead and make the roll for me.
All right, so we got to have Kulweg throw the thing at first, right?
Usually thrown range is short range.
I guess we're doing it at short then.
Well, all right.
I mean, or we could do it this way.
You can tie it onto the end of the arrow.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe Kulweg is just going to assist with your roll, and he's going to tie this explosive onto the end of your arrow.
Ooh, so you guys are actively crashing while this is happening.
Yeah, no, Kulweg has it in hand and rope in other hand, like miraculously fast. He's done this a million times.
I'll say Terry or Barnelby can do this, but Prang, you're still kind of like navigating a crash to be able to like be having something tied to one of your arrows.
You said we landed. You said we ended up on a like a nearby ruin.
Yes, but if you got complex in what you were doing as opposed to pulling an arrow out and shooting, having someone come over, tie an object to an arrow, and then go to shoot it is much more time intensive.
All right,
How
fine.
about
I'll throw an arrow down to them so they can prep it for next time, and I'll just shoot an arrow this time.
Okay.
Or I mean, like, you could one of us could shoot the shark to distract it, to keep it at bay for a second, to give you more time to tie it onto the arrow.
Maybe we use Prangalar's first shot as that, and then you can fire the arrow that has the thing attached to it.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna try to hit it and distract it a little bit, maybe do some damage to it.
Go ahead and roll.
All right. Range short is 2 purple. All right. That's that. That's that. 1 success, 2 opportunity, or 2 advantage. I mean.
Remind me again how much your bow does.
7, so it'll do 8.
Cool. Yeah, so an arrow sprouts out of the shoulder of this flying beast and you hear it bellow and starts moving even faster towards you.
All right, and I'm going to pass those. I'm going to say that distraction was successful, so the next person to go is going to get a boost die from those 2 advantage.
All right.
Cool. So people were throwing or shooting an explosive thingy?
I think Kulweg is going to strap it to Barnelby's arrow while Prangalar was firing at the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see that happening as the crash landing was occurring. All right. So you can make this shot, but having this weird object strapped to the end of your arrow is going to make it much harder. So it's going to be 3 setback dice.
Oh, those are the
black ones.
Black ones, yeah. So 3 of those?
Correct.
Oof. Alrighty. And what's the skill?
Ranged light or ranged? Yeah, sorry, it's just ranged.
Oh, like the difficulty level. How many purples?
2.
Depends on. Should be 2 because you're at short range.
Okay. Holy shit! 2 success, 1 triumph.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god, I can take a screenshot of it if you don't believe me.
Yeah, so you're able to hit this flying behemoth as it's coming at you. So you will need to use that triumph to trigger the explosion.
Sounds good to me.
So tell me what this looks like.
All right, so the large sky shark is closing in, jaws wide open, and just smile wide, you son of a bitch. As I loose the arrow, flies directly into its mouth, past its, past deep into his stomach, and just detonates on the inside, blowing it up apart in the middle.
100%.
Guts raining over us in a tidal wave of gore and just whatever was happened to be inside this horrifying creature's stomach.
And I'm going to flip a story point. Unfortunately, the shark is going to crash into the sled, doing even more damage to it.
I had something I was going to try here.
What do you want to do, Karlax?
I was going to try and manipulate the faltering lift crystal into a repulsor for the shark.
If you can explain that to me, how you can do that in under a minute, I would love to hear it.
It's magic.
Well, I've used that a lot, so I guess I can't argue here. I will tell you what, I will let you make a very difficult roll, and if you succeed, you are able to repel some of the shark guts that are flying at you currently.
Basically, I'm just redirecting the crystal that's already in function.
Yeah, and doing brain surgery is very simple too, but when you rush it, it suddenly is horrible.
Loose.
So let's go ahead and make
mechanics.
Probably rune tech, but whichever one you think is best. So this will be probably a hard difficulty, and you are going to get 2 setback because you're having to rush and you're under pressure.
Well, we'll make it runic tech then, so no, I don't get 2 setback.
I knew I was too nice. I should have been harder.
Okay, so 3 purple, right?
Yep.
That's correct.
Okay. So 3 success, 2 advantage.
Yeah, so this exploding behemoth that's coming at you suddenly just like bounces off of this repulsor field that was constructed.
It just sort of deflects off to the side, like it's coming in and then just sort of makes a 30-degree angle and misses us.
And hits Arlene instead. No, I'm joking. Yeah, so you avoid any damage to the paint, but the rear third of this thing is pretty mangled.
Glad we used somebody else's collateral.
But they also have our photos.
I don't care about that. We're not staying here forever.
Well, you don't know whose collateral you stole, so boom.
It could
That's a
be
problem for another day.
Oh, that's a problem for future Prangalar? Is that what you're saying?
That's a problem for future Dunmar Bedrath, actually.
Cool. So as your sled kind of stutters and struggles to fly, you find yourselves on a piece of the ruins, but are not sure where you currently are in terms of the map you have. I think this is probably a good place for us to wrap up before we get into exploration of the ruin area.
Yep.
Seems like a good break, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And for the record, I was going to try and do that even if the shark didn't explode.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.